Hi, my name's Estee. Before moving to the concrete jungle of New York City, I lived in the beautiful Rocky Mountains. Unlike the city, most everyone lives in homes with yards. This was my home, and as you can see there, yard work was a weekly chore for us. Here's the deal. I don't like yard work at all. I just like it for the yard to look good, to be green, manicured, and basically look awesome. This is one of the huge benefits of moving to New York City. When we did have a yard, the division of labor in our home was very clear. My husband Blake was in charge of mowing and trimming the grass, and I was in charge of weeding the flower beds. To complete my duties, I concocted a brilliant plan. Let's not plant any flowers, shrubs, or trees in the flower beds, and then I would find the strongest weed killer that would not allow any weeds or actually anything to grow at all. I called my dad, who specializes in industrial strength weed killer, and he provided me with some of the most powerful weed killing potion normally not available to the common homeowner. He asked me several times, "Now, are you sure you don't want anything to grow in these flower beds? You're sure, right? Because anything this spray touches will be sterilized for an entire year." I quickly replied, "Oh, I'm sure." My dad and I generously applied the deadly weed killer. I was so proud of myself. My assignment for the yard work was not only done for that weekend, but the entire year. I could now focus on much more important things like going to the pool, playing tennis, or running. The next morning, to my utter dismay, I woke up to the pitter-patter of rain. I normally love waking up to rain, but that morning, while looking out my window, I discovered several huge swaths of dead grass, where the rain had carried my deadly weed killer from the flower beds into the green grass. By the end of the week, the huge stripes were a dull yellow, and not one blade of green grass was to be found in these stripes. I was mortified. My husband was mortified. The neighbors were mortified. I had no idea what to do about the huge swaths of dead grass, and so I immediately called every expert I could find and researched solutions online. How do I bring back dead grass? I started the solution with my first impression. I will water the dead grass like crazy, fertilize it, and focus on it. It has to come back. This did not work. My next solution was just to cut out the dead grass and bring in some new sod. I was completely focused on healing those large swaths of dead grass. After several weeks of fret and despair, I received a very solid piece of lawn care advice. Estee, forget about the dead grass and focus on the green grass. This made absolutely no sense to me. Focus on the green grass around the dead grass? The whole time I had been so worried about the dead grass that I had paid little to no attention to the green grass. I altered my focus with the exact same resources of watering and fertilizing the green grass. I forgot about the dead grass and focused on the green grass. To my disbelief, I watched slowly how the green grass I nurtured started to overcome the dead grass and ultimately replaced the large dead yellow stripes of grass. In life, what are our swaths of dead grass? Could it be a lack of self-esteem? Could it be a struggle to succeed? Could it be a struggle with a loved one? Could it be a loss of meaning in our lives? And the list could go on and on. How then can we, when faced with these life-challenging huge swaths of dead grass in our lives, learn to focus on the green grass? A popular TED Talk surfaced a couple of years ago. It was a talk by Brené Brown about shame. I think her message is applicable as it relates to green grass. In her message, she advocates the following. When individuals start to feel joy, we wait for the other shoe to drop. We believe that when things are going well, disaster must be right around the corner. Essentially, if the swath of dead grass heals, then when will my husband spill the fertilizer and kill another piece of grass? Or when will the dandelions come? Or when will the crabgrass start to emerge? Dr. Brown continues, perfectionism becomes the 200-pound shield. It is a self-destructive and addictive belief system. We think that if we are perfect, we can avoid or minimize the painful feelings of shame, judgment, and blame. Oh, how true this message is. Oftentimes, we wake up daily feeling overwhelmed and can only see the dead grass in our lives and fret because we think we should be perfect. I was volunteering in an all-women's group and was leading the meeting. I asked if they would be willing to stand up and share what they think their strength is. At first, no one stood up. I was struggling in front of the room and decided to call out women who would share their strengths. One sister stood up and declared, "I think actually I'm pretty funny." Another stood up and said she was consistent. Another, "I am a self-starter," and another, "I am easygoing." As we left that meeting, I believe we all left with a feeling of relief, of strength, and of gratitude for our green grass. As I have watched my two now successful adult brothers struggle to overcome dyslexia throughout their lives, I have often seen teachers and people around them focus on their struggles, their dead grass. This is my motivation for returning to grad school. I want to become an expert in the field of literacy and gain a better understanding of dyslexia so that I can help those challenged with dyslexia see and focus on their own strengths, their green grass. As Dr. Sally Shaywitz, the co-director of the Yale Center for Dyslexia and Creativity, says, "Think of dyslexia as a sea of strengths surrounding an island of weakness." What are our strengths? What is the green grass in your life? I know each of us has great strengths, and we can use them to overcome the dead grass we encounter in our lives.